As Myron said, I'm also introducing our next speaker. She competed on Bravo TV's Top Chef in both season 11 and season 14, where she was the runner-up. She is currently working on opening her next concept in Los Angeles called Steamers Co. It's a fast casual counter-service seafood-driven restaurant with an oyster bar. Everyone please stand up and give a warm, big Omaha welcome to Shirley Chung.
Thank you. So today I'm going to share the story of me and my family. So I was born and raised in Beijing. So there you go, this is me, baby me, with a lot of amazing food that I grew up with. I was actually born into a very unique family. My grandfather, his name is Arthur Chung. He was actually born and raised in Pasadena, California. And his mother was the first female infant ever born in the United States. She was born in Ventura County. And my great-grandfather was here coming to the United States during the Chinese worker building the railroad. He came in as a Chinese herbalist, a doctor. And so that's why my family, my mom is a doctor, my sister is in medical school, so you can see how much pressure I get. I'm the black sheep of the family, I became a chef. So that's my grandfather. He went back to Beijing for medical school at age 17. So 17 is actually quite a magical number for my family. And then there he met my grandmother. My grandmother she has a really amazing background. So what you're looking at she is the daughter of Liang Qichao, which he is a revolutionist from China. He also brought back the capitalism idea to the Qing dynasty. Ultimately, he started a student protest, it's called Scholars Protest, under the Qing dynasty. And he was also teacher of the first president of China, Sun Zhongshan. So this is sort of in my blood. And then when they met each other in college, my grandmother, she was leading the student revolution because that's during 1930s, and Japan started attacking China. So that's how they met, is during sort of this student revolution, student protesting. And after that, because she was wanted by both Chinese government back then and also Japanese military, so they ultimately get to escape, came back to America, and they finished their degrees in USC. And then after that, they started their new life in New York City. But in 1949, when a new China was born again, because my grandmother was one of the first generation of communists, so she wanted to go back. It doesn't matter, even though my grandfather already established as a physician, he has his own clinic in Washington Square in New York. My father was actually born in the United States too, but they packed up the whole family and then went back to China. So everything was great. Cultural Revolution started. So my grandfather was actually thrown in jail because he kept his passport. So they're accusing him to be a spy. So being the doctor, at that time, he was actually the dean of one of the best hospital in Beijing. He got thrown in jail for 12 years. And then afterwards, with my grandmother's family background and Prime Minister Zhou Enlai saved him, sent him to Geneva. Because he's Chinese American, he speaks perfect English. So he became the first Chinese representative on WHO. He became the assistant director of WHO from 73 to 75. In 1975, he's facing a crossroad. He's about to get sent back to China, and he's very disappointed, almost scared of Chinese government back then. So in the middle of the night, he packed up, didn't tell anybody, didn't even tell my grandmother or my father or my mom, who just married my dad that time. He knocked on U.S. Embassy's door in Geneva, and next day, U.S. Embassy actually helped him escape and came back to United States. Okay, so why I'm sitting here telling all this story? Because I wanted to let you know that I have balls. Okay, so my whole family, this is sort of in my background. We all have balls, and then we're not afraid. We're not afraid of challenge. We're not afraid of falling down. We're not afraid of getting back up and restart our life anywhere. So I think this is sort of in my blood. For something that we truly believe and passionate about, we just go forward. And so all this time, I was born after my grandfather escaped from China, so I have no clue that he was alive. And I had a very, very happy childhood in China. So my grandmother was my role model, so was my mom. My mom started with nothing. She came from a small village. She was the first, not only the first girl, but first person ever went to high school from her village. And it ended up after she married my dad, after I was born, she studied to become a doctor, and she became a pediatrician. And so I have a very, very amazing childhood in China, and it was crazy. My grandmother's amazing. She was the foreign affairs director of foreign affairs for China Red Cross. So when I was a little kid, she believed in educating me, teaching me cultural world through food. So that's why I just have this relationship with food that I love so much, and everything I eat all connect to me, connect to my memory, connect to my emotion. And I think later on you will see this is how I cook. I cook with my heart. I cook with what I feel. So amazing childhood. My grandmother was very particular. She needs to have 3 dishes, 1 soup, and then 1 starch every single dinner. So it's very big, very important for us to sit down and have dinner with my grandmother. My mom is not the best cook ever. She's actually pretty bad. She can overcook rice. I'm not even joking. But she's an amazing doctor. She's an amazing career woman, and she has the greenest thumb ever. Everything she grows is amazing. So I grew up with this really great garden. And because I'm very picky with all these amazing snacks that my grandmother brought me back, so it's hard for me to eat any food. I was brought up by a nanny because everybody was really busy, so I wasn't very happy how they cook. So as a young little kid, for lunch, since we have to take care of ourselves, I started cooking at 8 years old. My first dish was fried rice. And then my other dish is actually ramen from the bag. That's my favorite. But I always soup them up with a lot of vegetables from my mom's garden. So amazing Beijing childhood. And then my grandmother passed away in 1988. And in 1989, something happened in Beijing. So I think a lot of you know, which is Tiananmen Square massacre. I live 2 blocks away from Tiananmen Square. I witnessed everything. My father witnessed everything. And that time that my father, he was sort of working for government. They have different branches, and so he was computer. He specialized in computer and semiconductor. So he was on his road to have a great political career in Chinese government on the science sector. So during Tiananmen massacre, he came out openly, vocally supported students and supported their point of view. So because of that, after everything finished, he actually got kicked out of the Communist Party. So his career ended, but then that's the perfect timing that he decided, well, he let us know that we will be moving to America. Because more for me than anything else, because he doesn't want me to face what he has to face and what my grandfather had to face in Chinese government. He wants me to have the freedom of choices. So by then, 1989, my family told me that your grandfather is actually alive. He went back to the United States. He started practicing medicine again in Sonoma. He also published 2 books in America to sort of talk about his life in China. So that's how we came to the United States. I came to the United States when I was 17. So if you turn 18, you can't come anymore with your parents. So I came here, I did a little bit of high school, and I went out to college. I love the United States. It was so much fun, but at the same time, coming to school here really humbled me. Because I think growing up, I was a little bit spoiled, because you think about it, like I don't have a lot of parents' guidance, and I was a little bit crazy, and look at me, I'm not your typical Chinese kid. I don't sit here to agree to everything my mom say. But coming to America made me realize that, I met a lot of different people, definitely faced a lot of some discriminations. I remember my first day of high school, I actually got spit in my hair. I don't know why until this day, but I think that just sort of hit me. And that made me realize that there's other world outside. United States is great, and I cannot decide what I wanted to do. So I started off, my mom wanted me to become a doctor, but I suck at chemistry. I failed so many times. And then, so my dad's just like, okay, so my dad he's in semiconductor still. So he's like, why don't you do something like engineering? I'm like, no, that's like really boring. So he's like, okay, fine, just like everybody else, at least get a business degree. So that was my college time. But during college, I was radio station DJ. I do a lot of different events. I really don't know exactly what I want to do because in America, there's so many choices. So I can't decide. After graduate college, I was like, okay, fine, I'll just listen to my dad, follow his footsteps, went into semiconductor, and then start working in Silicon Valley. Didn't really like it. Although I was really, really good, I did high-tech sales. I worked for Siemens, National Semiconductor. At National Semiconductor, I met my team, which is they were working on 3G firmware. That's so ancient ago. And so, right? So with that, 3G, I joined this group, and then we started our first startup. And I did a lot of different things. So I did sales, I did hiring. I also went out to look for funding and talk to VCs. So it's very interesting that I think I'm the only Asian female in the group, and then I have a couple assistants that follows me around that help me out. Some of them are interns, but when I get meetings, people always assume that I'm the assistant because I'm the one that's shooting out email. So every time they always talk to my suited assistant next to me and shaking hands and everything else. I was like, okay. So I guess, but I'm pretty sure this kind of challenge that you will see a lot in Silicon Valley. I didn't really mind because when I was younger, I didn't really see it as clear. But I always know that this is not something I wanted to do, so I spent a lot of time online shopping. I didn't feel really satisfied. And buy shoes. So at 2002, 2003, dot-com boom busted, right? So the market started crashing, and then we couldn't get our third round of funding for our startup. So I'm at a crossroad again. What do I want to do? So I love have house parties. I still love to cook. I still love to do everything else. So with my husband, just mentioned that, you want to check out culinary school? I was like, okay. So that's how I started my culinary school at age 27. Supposedly, I was just going to go check it out. But 30 minutes after I toured the campus, I signed up. Because the aroma of bread and then just the sound of people chopping, somehow I felt like I belong. This is the first time I feel like I found something that I truly, truly passionate about. So, but at the same time, I was like, I work in Silicon Valley. I have so many connections. If it doesn't work out, I'll just go back to Silicon Valley. Well, now it's been coming up 14 years. I never look back. So I always know. There I am. Graduate from culinary school. I don't know if you can tell my mom's face. She's very serious. Because me going to culinary school, even till this day, I'm sure some of you saw my finale. My mom was proud of me. Well, but she would still like me to be on TV more than be a chef until this day. I'm very sad. But I definitely threw some tension. My parents told me that if you want to go to culinary school, we're not paying for a school. I was like, oh, totally, I understand. Like, I'm not expecting you to do that. They didn't talk to me for a really, really long time. They wouldn't come visit me. Because for them, the image of a chef is very different. They think I would wear a wife beater, which a chef hat, with a cigarette in my mouth, and sit here, walk. So that's the perception. Right? Can you imagine that? I have white t-shirt. But I always knew when you want to go somewhere, you want to start well, right? We always want to get into the best college we can get, best company to get your resume. So I was shooting high. I never have any professional kitchen experience at all. I was a home cook. Was my hobby back then. I didn't know it was my passion. I just thought it was my hobby. But I knew I want to start with someone amazing. So I went to the French Laundry. They wouldn't take me. I sent resumes. They wouldn't take me. They wouldn't answer for a month. And we had to look for externship. So I already have a restaurant called Gary Denko in San Francisco. I worked there for free for an entire year, every single weekend. This is called Stotch, to secure a spot for me to do externship. But I never gave up because I still want to go with the best. So I went to French Laundry every single day after school and standing in front of the kitchen door and hoping that someone would talk to me. So I did that for 3 weeks. And Mark Hopper talked to me. He was the AM sous chef of French Laundry. So guess what? I got in. I worked for French Laundry for 3 months for free. It's called the extern. I couldn't afford rent. French Laundry is in Yountville. I'm moving with my mom in Fremont. So I drive 1 hour when I go there because it's 3:30 in the morning because French Laundry is crazy. When you get there, you're scheduled at 5 o'clock as a prep cook. So I show up at 4:30 the first day. Everybody was there. I was like, okay. So the next day I show up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Everybody was still there. So it made me realize, I was like, wow, this is true dedication that I never seen anything like this before. We're working for free. But I look at it as tuition. So until this day, I said the best choice I ever made was chose the best at the world. Because in 2004, French Laundry became the best restaurant of the world. 50's best, the best. And then that was the one and only years. And it hasn't happened until later on this year, again, which is 11 Medicine Park. But at that time, be able to have that on the resume literally means everything. I can open a door. French Laundry is hard. I mean, you think about, I love shoes, I love online shopping, I love fashion, and you go into the kitchen, and what I start is stocking, okay? Receiving fish, re-ice, sweeping, and then doing all this thing. But it's very necessary, because from there, I learn what's very important. The system is building from ground up. Every single little detail all matters in the restaurant. So now I see all the young chefs are coming out, go, oh, I'm a chef, I wanted to create this, and blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, but did you work prep cook? Did you sweep? Did you work dish pit? Look, I'm like growing up like a little princess, get spoiled rotten, and then coming here, I didn't give a shit. You tell me to sweep that corner? Okay, no problem. And I can ice a fish. I receive halibut like this, and people ask me if I need help. I'm like, no, I got this. So this is me, and because I love it. And it never felt like working, even though this is the first time ever I will be standing on my feet for 14 hours straight. I never experienced that. This is restaurant work. And also, after 3 months of externship, Thomas Keller hired me. He hired me to work at Bouchon, his bistro, and I'm actually getting paid. But I was getting paid $8 an hour, 8 hours a day, so $64 a day. How many hours we work? I talked about it earlier, so you can do the calculation. I made a lot less money than when I was working as a barista in college. But it's okay, it's working for Thomas Keller, right? And so he loved me so much that he actually sent me to Las Vegas to open his first Las Vegas establishment, Bouchon. So from there, I ran his oyster bar. And then I became his first Asian female sous chef. I don't really want to say that, but in the chef world, it's very difficult. Because a lot of times you will see, not only, I will literally to be the only girl on the hotline, because when you go interview, they automatically go, oh, you're pastry department. I was like, no, I hate baking. I can't bake. I don't like to bake. I have no patience. But this is our restaurant world. I used to cook with a milk crate on the bottom of my foot because it's too, I'm too short. I couldn't reach anything. But it's amazing. So after that, I worked for Guy Savoy. I always want to work for the best. And then later on, I worked for Marble Tolly Group for 5 years. And from that, I actually found the food, simplicity is the best. Don't mess with it too much. Just let the food shine, and you will enjoy everything. And then I got fired from my favorite job. So for Marble Tolly Group, I started as sous chef, and then I landed as a chef de cuisine, the executive chef for Marble Tolly's first steakhouse called Carne Vino. I started everything. That was my favorite job. I love it. And I have, you see, right in the middle, I'm smiling so big. We dry age our own beef, and we receive everything. I learned so much. But that was my first time be an executive chef. And also, as a chef-driven restaurant, so chef and GM is supposed to be equal, but not in my case. Everything I say, the GM say I'm bossy. Everything I do says I'm bitchy. Bossy is a word that only they call that to women. They don't really say that to male. And so it's unfair that we have different standards. So I got fired. And then my best friend had to fire me because he was my culinary director, and then he felt so bad. He straight up told me, this is company politics. There's nothing he can do that he had to let me go. It's actually the best thing ever happened in my life. because if I would have stayed there, I would be corporate chef. And then because it's so easy, it's so much fun, so I'll probably not be standing here. I'll be still slaving away for marble tali. Later on, Jose Andres recruited me. So I opened Chino Poblano, which is Mexican food and Chinese food together. Before that, I never cooked Chinese food. Like, you won't believe it, I only cooked Chinese at home. I was never trained in a professional Chinese kitchen. So my sous chef, he actually had to train me on how to use a regular, like a commercial wok. But the reason that Jose said that he would like me to be executive chef is not because my Chinese cooking experience. It's really because my everything else, and I'm very different. So for a very unique style of restaurant, I think differently. I don't think like a traditional Chinese chef. I think like a Western chef, like a French chef, an Italian chef, mine, but I have Chinese palate and Chinese flavor. So with Chino Poblano, I was nominated twice for James Beard Best New Restaurant. Final, didn't win it, but the last one was final round. So I was like, wow, this is amazing. I became R&D chef, corporate chef for Jose Andres, travel around the world, open a lot of different restaurants. It's so much fun. 2 years later, I was so burned out. And then I lost interest. So I packed up my thing. This is me. I have nothing lined up. I was like, okay, I'm going back to California because this is not something I wanted to do anymore. I think I got completely burned out. I don't want to cook anymore. This is the first time ever I thought about going back to Silicon Valley. Then Top Chef happened. Top Chef recruited me, so I went on Top Chef season 11, and I did really, really good. And with the first time, I was be able to open my first restaurant, 28. And I named it 28 because 28 was the first time, when I turned 28, I collect my first paycheck as a cook, as culinary profession. So I feel like I have a great career. I named my first restaurant 28 to represent that, the brand new beginning. And it's been 2.5 years. In December, I actually left 28. So from this experience, I realized choosing a partner in the beginning, almost without emotion, is very important. Because I partnered up with my friend on 28, and she's our sole investor. And she has event planning experience. She has event centers, but she never have a true restaurant experience. So I try to do so much. So it's my first, so I do chef, right? And then I lost a sous chef during soft opening, so just me and my chef de cuisine. And I play GM, and I play som. I put up wine lists together. I did everything, but it's not enough. This is because I feel guilty for my friend. I don't want to spend more money to hire the correct person, so I stretch myself too thin. And at the same time, I cannot think clearly anymore. The concept in the beginning, because I did modern Chinese, is very difficult in Orange County. Nobody understood. So I got flustered. Literally 3 months in this thing, even though we're really, really busy, but I just cannot handle reading Yelp reviews. And people complain that my portion is too small. I was like, you're like compare 28 to Payway, to Panda Express. This is not fair. You know what I mean? But then, unfortunately, this is the mentality of people when they come in thinking about Chinese American food. But did you know Chinese American food is actually the most popular cuisine in America now? But we still call ethnic cuisine. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, it doesn't make sense. And so the expression is very different. So this is what I cook. Like, will you compare this to Payway or Panda Express? Like, that dish is called Magical Mushroom Garden, okay? And this is what I like to do. And then that's like a black bean braised char octopus. But we still need to continue. To make ends meet, we started to do what my partner's really great at, doing events on the weekend. So what happens when we do event on the weekend, then there's no more dining. Dining is sacrifice. And then everything just starts trickling down. And more we start doing corporate events and weddings. And I just feel like, oh my God, this is not what I want at all. And I feel like almost like a failure. And at the same time that I was just really sad because I don't get to like cook what I wanted to do anymore. And then Top Chef happened again. So they recruited me, so this is a perfect opportunity. I talked to my business partner, and then we thought about it. We said that we're going to do 28, the last push for marketing, with me being on Top Chef, but by the end of the year, last year, I will leave 28 because there's something more. I wanted more. I don't want to be in Orange County anymore. I don't want to do event anymore. I wanted to do something on my own. I want to have more control. And then really I'm going to pour it out. I don't want anybody to tie me down anymore. Top Chef. Everybody know, I done really well. But before I went on this time, I sort of told myself, I would like to win. Everybody wants to win on Top Chef, but there's different type of winning. There's another thing is being on TV is if you're on airtime a lot and then you really tell your story, that's also win. Maybe you don't have $125,000 at the end, but most importantly is I went on Top Chef because I want to tell my story. Because I have this goal. The first time around on Top Chef, I call myself Shadow Chef because I was so great at sort of translating all my bosses, all my chefs' vision. And they will always take the credit, which I have no problem. I will stand behind their back. But be on Top Chef first time, I feel like I have my voice. I know what to do. And after 28, I learned from everything else, all my mistake. But I'm more, even though 28 Modern Chinese didn't really work out as well as I wanted to, but sort of planted to see that this is what I want to do. Because I truly believe that Chinese American food is more than orange chicken and broccoli beef, which I love. I love orange chicken, I love it. But I just feel like we have, especially in California, we have all this amazing produce and all these products. How come we don't use it? I mean, Chinese are known for eating seasonal vegetables, but how come when it comes to America, everybody just eat broccoli? So my goal or my dream after 28, I realized is I would like to push Chinese American cuisine to the next level. I would like to push Chinese cuisine to the next level that people is not going to asking me, is it authentic? Because this is a creation. There's no such thing as, is it Chinese American food as authentic? Because we're a melting pot. This is what we do. We have Chinese flavors, but then we always need to sort of include what we have around us. So I would really like to push that to the next level. So the second time being around on Top Chef, all I cooked was Chinese food. And then that's it, or Asian flavor, and that's it. To really showcase, to let everybody know that even though this is all I cook, but in finale, I will be next to Brooke, who makes California cuisine, and then I will get judged by the best French, best Italian chef in America, and I'm cooking Chinese American food. And I think in a way that I established that. And I also established that, we are equals. And you don't, we're not just rice and noodle and everything else. So even though I didn't win Top Chef, although I think everybody think I should, but I won by successfully establishing my brand. And also, I had a voice. And I think becoming back again, I also inspire a lot of little girls that want to be a chef, this is what I wanted to do. I also encourage a lot of Asian Americans to do something different than what their parents tell them to do something different other than just be an engineer and doctor. Nothing wrong with that, because my family is all engineer and doctors. But just something different to be able to choose what we want to do and chase our dream. So this is what I accomplished. And what's my next? My next is I'm opening steamers. And I think it's a very interesting concept. I'm getting ready for the culinary change of the dining scene. Now, with all the millennials growing up, we see this very big difference. Fast casual dining and also hot cuisine dining. Right in the middle is all slowly dying. So regular dining in the big cities is slowly dying down. So I felt that a lot in 28. Because a lot of people say that you should either raise your price to really high and do a tasting menu. And I was, are you kidding? It's like 300-seat restaurant, I can't do that. Or you wanted to dumb it down, but it was a gorgeous restaurant. I still couldn't do that. So my next expectation is you have to have experience. So I'm doing a fast casual that everybody will rotate stations. Because I always feel like it's not fair for my cooks. I have no problem to pay my minimum wage at $15 an hour in California. I love to pay that my cooks. I actually pay that to my cooks already. But I kind of have a little bit problem of paying $15 an hour to my server that just roll in for 4 hours. On top of that, they will collect $200 tips. and it's just not right. So my steamer's concept is everybody will rotate stations. My cooks will have opportunity to become a cashier or opportunity to become a busser. It's a counter service. There's no, I eliminate the server part. So you come in, you pay, I give you a number, and then everybody will rotate to pay. So therefore, everybody have a fair chance of shared tips. So I think this is my new business model I would like to push forward. And I also, my new concept is sustainable. So shellfish is actually the most sustainable protein in the world because they clean water, and you don't even have to feed them. You know, a lot of farm-raised fish, they feed them, especially in Asia, the practice is so dirty. That's why the farm-raised fish has such a bad reputation. But if the water is clean, it will be amazing. So that's why I'm creating this concept to anticipate the next wave of fast casual. Nobody's doing seafood, so I'm doing seafood shellfish. And then also, I would like to steam. I would like to set up a kitchen very efficient that I don't have to good hood and everything else. So I'm cooking everything on induction. So induction burner actually can save 60% of energy. And then also induction burner cooks really fast. I also working with a pot company to design this low pressure steam pot for me that cooking on condensation, steam on condensation. It only takes 1.5 minutes for me to steam an order of clams. It only takes me 2.5 minutes to cook a piece of salmon. So I think it's something really amazing that all these little things are coming together for my next concept. I also have another concept coming out, which is to really pursue my dream of pushing modern Chinese American food forward, which is a supper club in downtown LA. Again, everybody wants experience. So there'll be music, theatrical food, will be DJ, will be dancing, will be so much fun. So this will be my next. And I think I'm good. How's everybody?
So, you know, I just have to say, Shirley, I think everyone would agree that, see, he's already ready for a question. I think I would agree that all of our hearts are stirred. So I have 2 questions.
Okay.
Number 1, can we take a selfie together before we leave?
Of course.
And number 2, can we be like Twitter, at least friends, and Facebook and social media, and then YouTube, and then the new Marco Polo, if we can be friends, it'd be great.
Yeah, let's
okay.
link, right?
All right, okay, cool.
Well, everybody know I'm doing a pop-up, right? Who's coming to pop-up tonight?
I'm coming. I don't know about them, but I'm coming. I'm coming.
Across the door, across the street from Boiler Room.
East, right? Is that east?
Boiler Room.
I'm bad at directions.
I don't know.
Okay, you'll find out. Hey, let's do some questions.
Let's do that.
And then my man right here has a question. This is like awesome. So your name and your question.
I'm Sean Privatera with Medimoto. We do medical tech aggregation for data. And first of all, I just want to say thanks for the cultural introduction that you did, which I feel like America has kind of like lost its culture, and I think it's really cool that you introed with that, because it's so huge. Also, your dedication and your story about all the hard work that you did to lead up to that, working for free. I feel like that's kind of like a lost thing as well. And so, Thanks for that. What is your personal? I know this might sound weird, but your personal kind of diet, you have like just a massive amount of energy. What is your personal?
You stole my question.
Well, first of all, I
regimen.
was born with mass amount of energy. I think that's why, ultimately I became a chef, because I'm just too crazy to do anything else. I try to keep it healthy and balanced.
That's good.
Try. But I'm a chef and I love to eat, so I love fat. Like anything fat is great. The only thing I'm kind of better is I eat a lot less sugar now. I used to eat a lot of sugar, but I do work out. I work out religiously. I work out 5 days a week. I even try to work out when I travel. My thing is, I don't want to be skinny. I just want to work out so I can eat more.
So it's funny. I was trying to add up all the years, and all the years, seems like you're like 120 years old, but you look about 14. So whatever you're doing is great.
I'm very proud. All right.
Love that.
I used to say I'm 28 because 28 is really one of my favorite age. You know, like I became a chef, and then it's a perfect age. You're like curious, but at the same time mature. But then like the moment I turn 40, I can't wait to tell everybody I'm 40, because I'm proud to be 40.
So you made a statement. Now I'm going to quote you.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to quote you. Is that fine? Okay. You said, and I quote, "I have balls." Okay. So here's my question. What does it take to grow those?
What does it take to grow
yeah.
balls?
Yeah.
I think mentally very strong.
Yeah.
You have to be a little bit crazy, because I'm crazy. That's why I'm be a chef and then not make any money at all. I think I was telling Christina, like my new friend, earlier that in Silicon Valley I make almost $100,000, and then back then that was a lot for a young kid. That's why I can afford so many pair of shoes. But then, and I didn't reach that until 7 years later, working as executive chef for Jose Andres, and I bargained the shit out of it. So I became his highest paid, not only his first Asian female executive chef, but also his highest paid executive chef. And then, thanks to me, later on, every single executive chef all got a raise at Jose Andres.
And I think what she's getting at when she made that amazing statement was the importance of grit. Grit in startups, grit in whatever you're pursuing is very important. So you got a lot of snap, girl.
Well, you need to, the thing is, I always like to say, like, we're passionate. We always say we're passionate about something, right? When you're passionate about something, you need to be able to handle the burden, because passion equals burden. If you cannot handle the burden, that means it's your hobby. It's not your passion.
Wow. Can you, like, write a book so I can read it?
Someone help me write a book, please.
I'm so serious. Do we have any editors in the building? Raise your hand. Big Omaha. There we go. Let's make a connection.
Okay, perfect. Let's connect with me.
Okay.
We'll write a book together.
So what's your name and what's your question?
Hi, I'm Abby Allen, and my question, I guess, I did a study abroad in Beijing and Xi'an, and so one thing that I noticed over there was the cultural difference when you're dining, and I just loved the experience of it being more of a community. And so it sounds like from what you're sharing that from an operational standpoint, you have all these great ideas of transforming the dining experience. But have you also considered looking at the experience as a community, bringing people together, and just how to do that? People have been talking about how they set time aside just to kind of think through new ideas. And so I'm just curious to know your thoughts on that experience.
I do. Oh my God. I actually have a big project that I don't think I should talk about this, because it's like literally I just started brainstorming. We just started our deck. So I have this dream. I'm working with my best friend in China. She's actually working for culture department of Chinese government now. She would like to push what it call is, I'm sure there's a official word for it, but I always translate like that. No non-material antiques. So the craftsmanship, the chefs making noodle that's almost endangered, or making this teapot that's like he cannot pass down because no one's interested anymore. So I have this dream of building this Chinese American culture center, a culture exchange platform that builds that marry food and artists together, marry traditional art, traditional food with the new Asian American pop arts, graffitis, and also new way of style of food. So that would be a massive. I'm thinking like 3 exhibitions, and then with first level hawker style street food, second level more business dining, third level I want to have a Chinese garden and with like a sushi bar style service. So me and my chef friends can come together, serve the guests in front of you. Only do 18 people at a time. You get to have interaction of the chefs, and also I will promote to push young chefs that normally don't have a restaurant, don't have opportunity to showcase their cuisine, be able to do pop-up in this garden.
I have a question.
That's my dream.
This is crazy. It's awesome. Do you have like venture capitalists, like a long line of people just waiting to give to your dreams? I think they should.
Not yet. So please spread a word. Right? Like, please spread a word. Yes, this is my dream. And this is my big dream that I didn't want to talk about, because I have this dream, I have this idea. A lot of things I know how to operate, but I'm not quite sure how to put it together yet. So I will be looking for a lot of great talent to help me on this giant project in the future.
That's awesome. Okay, we have one more question and one more answer, and then we're going to break for lunch, okay? Name, question.
My name is Jamie Snyder, and I want to start by saying I love your passion and your dream.
Thank you.
You can sell anything when you have a drive and a passion, but what I heard you say was that you stood in the shadows for a very long time, gave your ideas away just to see that grow. Now, my question is, what advice do you have for those a lot of us in this room who are entrepreneurs stepping out of the shadows and into the light, how to navigate and transition through that?
It's a good question.
That's a great question. Because I'm still doing that right now. I'm still trying to break the shell. I want to say one thing is be shameless. Be fearless and be shameless. For me, I had a lot of pride, hiding behind all the chef. I have this great resume. You go, wow, executive chef for Jose Andres and blah, blah, blah. And why come to me? Like literally the first time around being on Top Chef, having 28, there's a lot of things I'm like still scared. I didn't want to come out to ask. Second time around, made me realize that I'm a brand. Like you have to build yourself. But at the same time that you really need to know yourself first before you can build yourself out. You need to know exactly what you want, who you are, what you're great at, and most importantly, what you love, what you're passionate about. Once you identify you, then you grow confidence and you become out to build your own brand. So
Wow.
I'm doing that right now.
Everybody, Shirley, can we just take a selfie real quick?
Let's do that.
There you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Oh,
Everybody, one more time. Shirley, guys. Shirley
one more
Chung.
time.
Shirley Chung.
Wait.